The Doom loop, hammering middle America. I played a lot of Doom back in the day. Video game, it's some good stuff. They had the BFG gun. It was the big effing gun. Oh, that was some fun to play with. All right, Doom loop. So we talk about the Doom loop in San Fran and Seattle and in Portland all of the time. Middle America, it's happening there too. And I reference that fairly often. I'd say, hey, this is not just a downtown on the West Coast type thing. This is happening in cities all across America and the world, because we had the whole work from home. And then all of a sudden companies are like, hey, maybe I don't need to send all my employees into that really expensive space in downtown wherever. I could save a lot of money. Greater profit for me, the business owner. Let's do this. So you got a situation where you have office buildings all around the world that are just 20% vacant, 31% vacant in San Fran. Middle America, no exception. They've got some different circumstances going on there too. I don't know if you've been to towns in Middle America where, the downtown core has not changed much. And it's just office buildings. There's not a lot of that vibrant downtown, you might have a section somewhere that's got some stuff going on, but it's not like the whole downtown core is hey, this is really nice. I'd like to come work in this environment. Work from home is crushing Midwestern downtowns. You may have heard that America's cities are in trouble, from the death of downtowns to the urban doom loop. The plight of America's superstar metros and their central business districts in particular have been a frequent source of concern for economists, politicians, and commentators. Me, commentator. I'm more of an opinion guy. I just give you my opinion. This is what I think. And you seem to listen. It's what we're doing. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. We're going to hit 100,000 subscribers here soon. What is going on? It's 2023. Anything can happen, right? Most of the concern has been focused on coastal cities like San Francisco and Seattle, which have seen the usual stream of commuters shrink to a trickle due to remote work's hold on the white-collar workforce. Now, Amazon sent employees back 3 days a week to Seattle, and it has been a cluster. Traffic has been a cluster. People are complaining, I'm going to quit if I have to continue going in 3 days a week because traffic is so bad. Because instead of it being spread out over five work days, it's like, it's just average bad. Everybody's there 3 days out of the week. And other companies have gone to that as well. I think Microsoft and Facebook, they all went 3 days because they're following Amazon's lead as a big employer. So now you've got this awful traffic compacted into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And you go there on Thursday night like I did 3 weekends ago because I was going to the Cure concert with my buddy who works at Amazon. I got parking in front of his building right in South Lake Union, Thursday at like a 5:30 or 6. We walked down to a very well-known restaurant right in South Lake Union, right at the foot of all these Amazon buildings. Walked in, immediately got seated, because everybody books it out of there on Thursday afternoon at 3:00. You're like, we've done our time in downtown. We punched our cards. We're out of here. So that's what you got going on. And so you just don't have enough people in downtown, and commentators. Yeah. Most of the concern has been focused on coastal cities like San Fran and Seattle, which has seen the usual stream of commuters shrink. But Midwestern cities are also facing a crisis of their own, struggling to attract workers, residents, and visitors to their downtowns. And while many coastal metros experienced a golden age in the decade before the pandemic, cities in America's heartland have been struggling since well before COVID came around. In order to pull out of their tailspin, economists and urban planners say many Midwestern cities need to get serious about improving amenities and boosting quality of life in their downtowns. Instead of being places where people are forced to go to work, leaders need to make their center cities into a destination that people actually want to visit. The problem I have with this approach is that the downtown cores were developed and built for one thing, and that was containing employees of vast companies. And these vast companies all interacted kind of together, to some extent. And that's where all the business happened. Now, business can happen anywhere. You've got a computer and high-speed internet, right? Like at home, we proved that. So to say, hey, you need to clean up that core, you need to make that core better and more livable. Yeah, but people can still operate elsewhere. So why are they going to want to go in to a metal building with, can't open the window and look down from their skyscraper? All right, this is really cool. But do they want to spend their hour each way commuting there and then sit in their metal box? Most people don't. They want to be at home playing with Fido or, yelling at their kids. I'm just being brutally honest here, right? So what I really think it comes down to in these places is that there's nothing special about any of the downtowns in any of these cities that would be attractive to new residents. The cities just don't have the fundamental amenities that would attract people. When I go into some downtowns, that is what I think. I think, good Lord, I wouldn't want to work here, let alone live here. Other areas of other cities have gone down that road and have cleaned things up, and they've made, really cool neighborhoods out of what used to be downtown cores. Got a lot of high-rise condos in some of those cities. You got different stuff going on. One example of that is South Lake Union. It just used to be, urban blight. It was just horrible. It was warehouse after dingy warehouse, bunch of bums, homeless people. Didn't have the drug vagrants that you do now. Grunge hadn't happened. And then all of a sudden, Paul Allen starts buying this up en masse. And then Amazon starts taking it down as building after building after building. And because Amazon has a ton of money, they have private security, and they do not let riffraff into this area, set up the homeless tents, do the drug dealing, stealing, all of that. They've got such security. So it's privately basically subsidized as a clean part of the city. And if you don't have a big company in your city to do that, then you end up looking like other parts of the city, like the Blade in downtown Seattle at 3rd Avenue, Pike and Pine, a couple of blocks away from where the lady that was pregnant was murdered last, Tuesday? By a homeless person with known mental issues to the Seattle Police Department that had just moved here from Chicago and had an illegally obtained gun. Yeah. How about that? Yeah. All right. Hollowed out. A good way to gauge just how much trouble Midwestern cities are in is to take a look at how many people their downtowns are actually attracting. Standing in the middle of the city square and counting people can be a bit tough. So researchers at the University of Toronto, this is what we've heard of a lot. They've been analyzing anonymized cell phone data for the past few years to track the number of people physically present in central business districts each day. And that's where we come up with Portland and San Fran have some of the least amounts of activities in their downtown core. The granular individual level data provides a fuller picture of downtown vitality, both before and after the pandemic, than other measures such as office vacancy rates and mass transit ridership. Vacancy rates have gone up, which is not good, and mass transit ridership has typically gone down, and there's going to be even less money in budgets moving forward for the mass transit, therefore creating the doom loop, right? The conclusion the study draws for the heartland is bleak. 5 of the bottom 10 cities in the tracker's most recent data, which measured the period from December 2022 to March 2023, were in the Midwest. We got St. Louis. Murder capital of the USA. Interesting. And nobody wants to go to the downtown? Indianapolis. What kind of mayor they got there? Minneapolis. Interesting. All right. Okay. Yeah. Is that a safe city? No. Cleveland? Oh, hey now, Kansas City. You got some shootings going on there, right? Okay. Those are some of your cities that people are saying, the downtown is not real livable, let alone I just don't want to work here. You got some of the same stuff going on in San Fran, in Seattle, and Portland, right? You've got downtown cores that are not safe, that people do not want to go to. Other indicators of not the entire area typically, but enough of it where folks are like, yeah, not here. Because we sell condos in downtown Seattle all the time. And people want to have this image in their head that the whole area is just this dearth of humanity. It's just Snake Plissken and Escape from New York, right? It's not. But when you've already got 20, 30% office vacancy rate and you got some street conditions that aren't good, it's not going in the right direction. And it's certainly not going in the right direction in St. Louis, Indianapolis, Minneapolis, Cleveland, Kansas City. Other indicators of central business district health, from office workers to vacant real estate space, are similarly stark for many of these cities. Jacob Fryer, the mayor of Minneapolis, recently said he expects his downtown workforce to max out at about 75% of its pre-pandemic numbers. And a recent study showed that 21.2 million square feet of office space in the city is sitting vacant. I think San Fran right now, in comparison, has about 18 million square feet. 18 million square feet. What's the absorption rate on that? We talk about that a lot. And in housing, that means however much space you got on the market, how long is it going to take businesses to absorb that? How many homes you got on the market? What's your days on market? Well, on average, it's this many. All right. And your buyers are taking down this many houses each month. So what's your absorption rate? How long is it going to take? If no more homes came on the market today, how many days of inventory do you have? How many months of inventory do you have? Well, at 18 million and 21 million, that could be years. That could be years and years. The Midwest as a whole has also struggled to attract new residents and hold on to its existing residents in recent years. Between April 2020 and July 2022, the region saw a net decline of more than 400,000 residents. When you put that together with how big we're talking, how many cities we're talking about, that is not huge, but it's in the wrong direction, right? It's like saying, well, Portland and Multnomah County had 19,000 out migration. That's not that many compared to, 650,000 in incorporated Portland. 19,000, chump change, right? Greater metropolitan area, 1 point whatever, 2 million, something like that. Chump change. But you're going in the wrong direction. You're losing residents. You want to be going the other way. Not happening. And things could even get worse for downtowns if they fall into the so-called urban doom loop. I just love that word. It just sounds so bad. Doom, gloom and doom. It's happening. Yeah. A lot of people have been asking me about the whole commercial real estate impacting banks and what kind of a financial meltdown we're going to have. And I'm not going to get too into it here, but I have talked about it on multiple podcasts. I think you will have more banks fail because there's so many things in these individual real estate markets all across the United States. And it's these mid-tier banks, these regional banks that often lend on the kind of real estate that we're talking about here with the vacancy rates that we're talking about. And so you're probably going to see more failures along the lines of Silicon Valley Bank. And what was it? First, I can't remember the other one that failed as a result of that one failing. I think you're going to see more of that because valuations on these properties have dropped to a point where they can't refinance them. They can't sell them. It's going to be a short sale. And we're already seeing indications in San Francisco of owners and developers, handing the keys back to the bank and saying, good luck with that. Enjoy your free poop on the sidewalk. So I think there is, moving forward, I don't think it's going to be as catastrophic as the 2007 and 2008 Great Recession by any means, but I think it will rock some boats. And I think you're going to have a real reckoning because these values and the way that downtown cores have, were built and designed is no longer as relevant as it once was because you've got people working from home because they were told, we're just going to go for 15 days to flatten that curve. 3 years later, still clunking away on the computer at home. Things seem to still be going. Corporate profits still seem to be flowing in. We know we can do this. We don't need all that space downtown. And that's where the urban doom loop, it impacts, I'm not going to read anymore. There's a bunch of other stuff on there. If you want to read it, you can go to my, our Discord channel. It's called Reasonable Plus. It's free. You can check out all these articles if you care, if you want to go there. If you're good with me just, stopping an article midway and going, trust me, it's a bunch of filler. It's a bunch of stuff. So what can we expect moving forward? You can expect the struggle bus to be going up to downtown cores, because there is nothing that is going to change this overnight. You got your absorption rate for the cities that are doing okay. All right. So it's going to take a while to fill up these office space. And like we said here for Minneapolis, maybe 3/4 of that space, that is the golden mark. All right. So we got to 3/4, 75% occupancy is the new 100%. That makes sense. Like 20 is the new 30, or 30 is the new 20. I think that's how that went. 50 is the new 40. 60 is, I don't know, but maybe 75% is the new 100%. That's what I think people are having to deal with. My last podcast that I just recorded was Mayor London Breed in San Francisco, basically reaching out to developers, anybody, architects, developers, construction, anybody that build buildings. Help us help you reimagine downtown, because we don't know what to do. Got all this space. It's vacant. It's really not good for the city. It's not good for the city's tax base. We went through all that. It's what you got going on. So Mayor London Breed in San Francisco is literally reaching out saying, hey, send us your plans on the back of a napkin. Seriously. That is word for word. It can be a whole fleshed out plan. It can be on the napkin. You had a business idea, or maybe you have a few too many and you come up with something that seems really, really just genius at the time. Then you look at the next morning and go, that's going right in the garbage. Well, they're saying, hey, bring us your ideas, because we don't have any. Help us reimagine our downtown core, because it's sitting vacant and this isn't working for anybody. But what they're not addressing is the fact that, hey, you got to have some safety on the streets before people are going to feel comfortable doing that. These downtown mid-core cities as well. Same thing goes, right? Minneapolis, want to redevelop some space there? I wouldn't. That's not my game either. That's not my territory. It's not my turf. But, I think other developers are looking at these downtown cores and going, oh, not all that safe. Ooh, street conditions, not all that great. And that's what a lot of the economic sides of things doesn't point out. You can go for an entire article and you get to that last paragraph and the safety of the streets is also a factor. Homelessness, lining the sidewalks is also somewhat of an issue in the Tenderloin, in Skid Row. I mean, there's some issues that need to be squared away. We need to do a little bit of a cleanup. Yeah, you really do. And that's the part that is often so overlooked, is even if you convert it, clean it up, make it a totally different use, build it and they will come. You want to bet on that? I don't. And I'm a real estate guy. That's just where I'd be at. All right. That's it for me. Check out our merch. We got like reasonable cups, and we got Seattle real estate. We got some other funny cups with some funny sayings that I can't say on here because they're funny, but other people don't get it. And, apparently that we are not supporting the democratic process by some of our coffee cups. That's all I'm going to say. Check out our merch. Thanks for being here. We'll catch up soon. Bye for now.